Hello everyone, this is Sunyoung Lee, the special host for this week. It's the 9th of August and welcome to this week's Korean News Express. We'll look closely into some of the latest issues that caught the attention of the foreign media. Before getting started, let's quickly go over the topics. Homegrown KF-21 fighter jets successful testing. The infinite expansion of next-generation Hallyu content. Globally spotlighted K-pop related stories. Then let's get through this week's Korean News Express. Here's the first issue of the day. The homegrown KF-21 Borame fighter jet successfully carried out a second flight test. In particular, the KF-21 project began in 2000 when President Kim Dae-jung announced plans for the nation to independently make its own advanced fighter jets. The objection has thus reached fruition 22 years later. The second flight test was conducted with the landing gear folded, demonstrating the safety of the fighter engine. Specifically, CNN reported that South Korea joined Supersonic Fighter Club as KF-21 jet took to skies. This made Korea just the 8th country to develop its own supersonic fighter jet. A total of 6 KF-21 prototypes are set to undergo a combined 2,000 flight tests or more through 2026 to confirm its overall capabilities. Let's move on to the second update. Webtoon, which started in Korea, is emerging as a new Hallyu content and is expanding its influence all over the world. In particular, Korean companies' Webtoon platform services are in the spotlight in France. Le Figaro, a leading French magazine, introduced Naver, which started its Webtoon service in France at the end of 2019. It shared that with 2 million monthly users, it was ranked in the top 10 Android apps with the highest sales in France. It also mentioned that several French publishers are showing interest in launching Webtoon services or publishing paper versions of Webtoons with its growing popularity. On the other hand, the Korean Webtoon industry is actively seeking out local artists following their dominance in overseas markets. Recently, Lore Olympus, a romance webcomic published by Naver Webtoon, received great attention as it won the Best Webcomic Prize at this year's Will Eisner Comic Industry Awards. Finally, we have stories related to K-pop that drew global attention. The first is Billboard article. Korea GAYOJE presented SummerStage, New York's largest free outdoor arts festival, the first K-pop show this year. The article mentioned that the fans were so committed and enthusiastic, witnessing lines forming early in the morning to get into the venue. Next up, Ante of France reported the popularity of Korean pop culture. Re-examining the K-pop music style that has taken over the music charts around the world, it drew attention by analyzing it with 5 figures. Lastly, the Paper of China paid attention to the K-pop dance cover. The article featured a special interview with Professor Oh Joo-yeon, a dance research expert who recently published a book on K-pop dance. That's all for this week's Korean News Express. The Cultural Heritage Administration has designated Hanbok Sengwal, the culture of wearing the traditional attire, as national intangible cultural heritage. Particularly in Korea, the culture of wearing the attire to show courtesy on special occasions, such as traditional holidays, weddings, and ancestral rituals, has been passed down with families. It is designated as the 50th National Intangible Cultural Heritage, as it is a cultural tradition that is handed down and practiced by all Koreans on the Korean Peninsula. We'll be back with new updates on Korea next week. Once again, I'm Sunyoung Lee. Keep it here on Korean News Express.